Breaking news in Rhode Island, Brown University says there's been a shooting on campus and a suspect is not in custody. Here's a live look at the scene. The university says Providence police are still on scene and they're asking everyone to continue to take shelter. New video shows students running on campus. The university sending a message through its alert system earlier warning of an active shooter near the Barus Holley Engineering building. ABC News Justice and Homeland Security reporter Luke Bard joins us now on the phone. Luke, can you tell us the latest in this situation?
Yeah, so what we know at this moment is that the Brown University did send a message out saying they do not have a suspect in custody, and they are looking to see what happened during this active shooter situation, which they did confirm. They're coordinating with multiple law enforcement agencies that are on the site, and I've been speaking to sources that have said that they're getting police from all over the state of Rhode Island, this is an area of Providence called the East Side. Just a little bit of context about where this is in Rhode Island. This is an area called the East Side. It's the east side of Providence. There's obviously Brown is the anchor of that community. There's multiple private schools in that area as well. And it's also pretty residential. So Brown is kind of the anchor of this community on the east side, and there's different little pockets around it. And it really is a close-knit community there on the east side. Rhode Island is a place, of course, where everybody knows everybody. It's a small state in the country. And so this, as I'm talking to sources on the ground there, it's really shaken a lot of folks there.
Do we have any information on the suspect right now?
Well, we know that initially Brown said that they did have a suspect in custody. Now they just put out an alert that said they don't have a suspect in custody, and they're continuing to search for this suspect. But obviously, it's a really fluid situation. They're on the east side of Providence, and like I said, there's law enforcement from around the state that are responding.
Now, the university officials, they told people to shelter in place right now. They sent that message on their alert system that went out to everyone's phones. So what does that look like and feel inside these classrooms, or even maybe what could be some dorm halls where some students and faculty are still sheltering? What could that possibly look like right now?
Yeah, that would mean that people are closing their doors. They're not going outside. They're really trying to lock down until they get the all clear from the school. And the campus of Brown is unique because it's kind of scattered throughout the east side. So there's different buildings. Obviously, there's one main quad, but there's different buildings scattered throughout the east side of Providence. So this is probably going to be impacting all of those buildings and all those dorms and those classrooms. Obviously, of course, it's close to finals, so students are studying, and it is something that is kind of shaking the community up there.
All right, we have ABC News contributor Brad Garrett, who's now on the phone. We're going to go to him right now, ask a couple of questions. Brad, you're seeing right now active shooter situation right now at the campus of Brown University. Officials are saying that the suspect has not been caught at the moment. Can you talk to us about what specifically police forces and other law enforcement agencies are doing right now as this search continues to sprawl out into that community?
So obviously the key is how quickly can you ID the shooter? Now, we don't know, you and I don't know the specifics, who got shot, who might be deceased. All of those things are sort of obviously relevant as to playing into what was the motivation of this shooting. He or she may have nothing to do, the shooter may have nothing to do with who got shot, or it may have been targeted. That all becomes important, obviously, in trying to figure out who he is. But where I'm going with this is that there are going to be people that witnessed it, that saw the person, that may, if it's a student, may have recognized the person. Typically, as you well know, college campuses have a lot of CCTV. You're going to look at that quickly, because obviously, if this was, there's some reporting of a number of people shot. I mean, it's a big deal to find this guy and to stop him. If he's going to someplace else. And, is there information that there's more than one person? Typically, it's not. These tend to be lone actors, but you don't know until you play that out. And so one of the keys in these types of cases is you have to do things simultaneously. The things I just mentioned, a few of them. You have to assign people, it has to be organized, and you have to have the ability to bring all that information back to a command center where they can sort of sort out what they have and what direction should they be going and what are the possibilities of, can we, based on what we know right now, potentially ID the shooter.
Now, Luke, I want to go back to you right now. I want to talk about where this potentially happened. We know that the university sent out that alert to people's phones talking about how this could have been centered around that possible engineering building. What more do we know about where this incident has taken place?
Yeah, Ike. So where this building is on Hope Street, which is kind of one of the main arteries of the east side of Providence, and it's a really busy area of where this campus is, and of course it's just a couple blocks away from the main quad there, and it's abutted by Thayer Street and Angel Street. So this is a really where this building is a pretty populated place in Providence, of course. Then you've got there's this building, and then there's just blocks and blocks of homes and restaurants and all kinds of things. So it's not, if you think about Brown, it's not just a one singular campus with a quad. It's multiple buildings scattered over multiple blocks around the east side.
All right, if you're just joining us, we are reporting on breaking news out of Rhode Island. Brown University says there's been a shooting on campus and the suspect is not in custody. Here's a live look at the scene. The university says Providence police are still on scene and they're asking everyone to continue to take shelter. New video shows students running on campus. The university sending a message through its alert system earlier, warning of an active shooter near the Barus Holley Engineering building. ABC News' Andrew Dimbert is here with me now. Andrew, obviously this is a situation that's unfolding very rapidly right now. We know police are on scene, several law enforcement agencies. What specifically do we know about this incident right now?
Typically with these situations, whether it's a shooting on campus or some sort of mass shooting, not suggesting that that's what this is, there is confusion on campus, right? The police had originally said that, for example, a shooter was in custody. That is not the case. They're saying that a shooter is not in custody. If you are on campus, they're urging people to shelter in place, fight as a last resort kind of thing here. No word on victims yet, a suspect, a motive, still so many questions at this hour as the scene develops. We do know the call came in to police around 4:20 p.m., so just about an hour or so ago. But we're still waiting for an update here from police, Brown University there in Rhode Island. A lot of questions, Ike.
Absolutely.